Hey, what's up everybody? I was all set here. I was about to sit down and start making my typical Friday video, but spring is broken here in Northeast Ohio, and it was 34 the other day, but today it is high 60s, almost 70 out, and I decided I'm going to ride my bike today instead. I'm going to take out my Peugeot here. It's got the kind of tires I want. They could go a little more off-road. They're not, got my GoPro mounted. Make a little video with that. I love this bike, my favorite one. Let me show you what I got going on over here. I'm gonna bring my bag. Got my 60 with the 16 to 35 on it. That'll be versatile. I'm probably gonna end up at a concert tonight and a small DIY venue, so it'll be perfect for that. Bike chain. These are all my bike tools here. Wrenches, stuff like that, and everything I need to change a flat. I got the bike pump. Throw an extra sweatshirt in here, some lights so I could be seen tonight when it gets dark. And that's about it. About ready to take off. I'll see you out on the road. Here I am out at our beautiful Summit Lake. Thank God it's spring, man. This is just perfect. Riding out by the old tracks. Well, that was my plan, was to go out on my bike and shoot a whole episode of the show and, do some like whole day vlogging type stuff and take some video everywhere I went and do a little bit of talking. Halfway through trying to do that out on my bike ride, I decided that's not what I want to do. And also, I just realized I need to separate when I want to make a video like that from the show, keep them as two separate things. So I released a bike video this morning. I'll link it up below, and that's more of a music in the background, a bunch of footage kind of put together to tell the story of my bike ride, kind of a lot like my Columbus video that I had done when I went down to Columbus, and just used music and kind of showed the trip like that and used captions and stuff when I wanted to. The other thing I realized was the idea that putting this show out on Friday doesn't make sense, because I'm always busy on Fridays and there's always other things either work I need to do or stuff I want to do. So it makes way more sense to me when I like to record and shoot these on Sunday night for Monday. And also because if I'm going to have a section that's called the Weekend Review, it makes a lot more sense to include the weekend in the Weekend Review to me. So from now on, I plan on kind of having these released on Monday morning instead, even though this week I've already blown that schedule. Because it's Monday night, but it's still Monday, and that'll be the plan from here on out. The other thing you might have noticed in the beginning of that video is the annoying sound. I recorded it with my 5D Mark IV, just holding it out, and as good a job as the camera did of keeping me in focus and everything, that annoying noise you hear is actually the autofocus and the camera, the motor of the autofocus. So that's something I'm going to touch on a little later in this episode. So last week I had a couple big shoots. I was up in Cleveland one day. I was shooting a product that is going to be used for multiple things, but in this case they're going to be used like hand, knee, or elbow pads for yoga. Think silicone. I'm not sure the product has been released yet, so I'm not going to talk about the name or anything like that. But I was basically shooting to make it look like a yoga class and all the different positions and things you could do with that product. And it was a pretty cool shoot, and I was really happy with the way the photos turned out. So I'll look forward, and I'm going to be doing, I believe, some video work in that as well here in the studio, so I'll be able to show some more of that. Last week I also was still continuing on editing videos that I've been working on for other companies, so none of those are quite done. It's the the back and forth of, I edit a video, I send it to the marketing firm, they send it to the company, both come back with the revisions they want me to do. So sometimes the process just takes a little while to get done. On Friday after my bike ride, I did stop out at a show. I posted a blog about that. I'll link it below. It was at a DIY venue called the Hive, and I photographed the bands, but it was kind of interesting because they were only backlit by a projection screen, so there was no light on them. And as I showed in the beginning of this video, I didn't bring a flash with me because I was out for a long ride and didn't have any, just didn't have the room, or decided probably not to have the weight on me. But so it made for an interesting, as you can see, I'll show some in the background here, interesting show. And then the other thing is I just had a few other typical portraits in the studio last week. So a lot of more editing, not a lot to tell about from the week before. So as I alluded to last week, I've been having some trouble with my lapel mic. This was a $300 mic that I bought a few years ago from Dot up in Cleveland. It's a Rhodes. It's a lavalier lapel mic. And I started just not being able to get the sound out of it. And I think I've narrowed it down to the problem being just this little connector that screws on. The problem is I don't know for sure, and it's a $300 mic, and at Dot in Cleveland I stopped up there after my last shoot, and they don't sell just these ends. They told me to bring it in, and I wish I had remembered to bring it with me when I was up there, but I didn't. So I need to stop back up and do that. When I was up there though, I picked up a another shotgun mic, and I thought this mic would be good for two reasons. I thought it'd be good for, like I said in the beginning of the show, I'm thinking if I put it on the camera, that maybe with it being shotgun style, it'll eliminate most of the autofocus noise I'm getting, and also just generally improve the sound if I want to use one of my DSLRs to do like the vlogging one-hand style video where I'm not setting up a bigger mic. The problem I didn't realize, so this mic is powered by the camera. And I thought I would still be able to use it like a boom mic, like I'm using my other Rhodes mic. But it doesn't seem like my zoom, when I set up today, I actually set this up to record, the zoom will actually power this mic. So I'm still using the one I have been using, and the only problem with that is I have broken the mount, and it also takes a battery, which I guess is good in this occasion, but it's one of those things I always worry about if I forget to bring an extra 9-volt battery, which, to be honest, I usually have been forgetting. And then just the fact that it's old and it's kind of wearing out a little bit. So that is something I need to think about if I want to keep a $100 mic that is only useful as a shotgun mic, and I can't use it as a boom mic. This was, yeah, $100, like I said. The step up that did take the battery was about a $230 mic. And I don't know, I'm thinking maybe I put some more effort into the one I have above me instead. But hopefully I do figure out what is wrong with the lavalier mic and get that fixed, because, you know, $300 isn't something I want to go spend again when, you know, it's only a couple years old. The other thing I picked up when I was at Dodd, I was standing there buying my mic, and I looked behind and they had a film cooler, and so I saw they had some Velvia 100. So I had the guy tack on a roll of Velvia 100 for me, and so in camera corner, the camera I'm going to talk about is my Pentax K1000. This camera is kind of special to me because my friend Josh gave it to me. It was his mom's, and she passed away, and she really was into photography. But he said, you know, I'm never going to use it. He's like, I don't have anywhere to set it out on a shelf, you know, or anything like that. So he was like, I know you'll actually use it if I give it to you. And I have. I've run a number of rolls of film through here. So I think I'm going to load the Velvia into the Pentax. Velvia is a slide film. It's a super saturated, really cool looking film. I wouldn't say it's realistic. It almost has, there was a joke among National Geographic photographers, they actually called it Disney Chrome because of its extreme saturation. I don't think I've ever shot the ISO 100 version. The original is the Velvia 50. This was an expired roll I shot, but it still came out pretty with intense colors. I've actually shot some fresh rolls of 50 also, 120 millimeter in some of my cameras, and it just has a really cool, fun look. It would be one of those things I'd say it's funny when people consider Photoshop cheating. If they would see what, you know, some of the old films can make stuff look like, they might not have as much of that opinion. The other interesting thing about this camera is, obviously you can see I need to fix the leatherette here, but the leatherette was only supposed to be on the SE version of the K1000, which from what I've read was only made in Japan, but this one says body assembled in Hong Kong. So I've never quite figured out what model this really is. It's a super simple camera though. I mean, there's just a light meter, your shutter speed, and your aperture. Nothing fancy. It's just a little old, you know, classic needle up and down. But I've always got really good results with it, and I've always shot color film with it too, and even slide film, which is, you know, pretty temperamental. The exposure needs to be nailed pretty good. So hopefully, I'll probably wait for springs and spring flowers or a colorful walk downtown to use that. So not really a commentary on anything that's going on in the photo world this week. Just another, to reiterate the point of, you know, kind of why I do this and make the bike videos. When I was making the bike video, I knew I wanted to do something called speed ramping, where if you watch it, the speed starts off normal and then goes almost to a time lapse or speed up, or even if you want to do a reverse, like a slow motion, smoothly instead of just jumping all at once. And there's a great channel I love on YouTube called Video Revealed, and I actually search his channel before I search general YouTube if I want to learn how to do anything. So I do want to link him up and give him a shout out. His name's Colin, and I'm drawing a blank on the last name, but the link to the channel will be below. And again, I just found the easy way to do it in the timeline because of him, that where you could actually separate the keyframes, and it saves me so much time to learn how to do stuff the right way. And that's the point of doing these videos and doing the show and doing the cycling videos, is to learn new stuff that will then apply when I need to use it for a professional purpose. So again, this just proving that it's worthwhile for me to do this, at least for myself. And I hope then also at some point I could be helping someone else out along the way too. So that's all I have for this week, and I will see you next Monday at the latest.